Hi everyone, I'm Ju. Welcome back to my channel. In my last video, we discussed about how Germany raised their people to be critical thinking, and on the other hand, Malaysians are taught to obey. And then this pops up my mind. I'm curious that how history shaped these two nations in two different ways. Both were destroyed, but in a different ways. One nation was destroyed by the war, and the other by the colonization. So, we are going to look into 6 different aspects to find out how history shaped these two nations to what it is today. And you know what? Today, one nation is known for its precision, punctuality, and varieties of bread that is super hard for Malaysian and Shodigong. And the other nation is known for its food, its diversity, and also the traffic that makes you questioning about the meaning of time. So today, we are going to explore how history shaped these two nations, post-war Germany and post-colonial Malaysia. So now, let us start with the historical starting point, rebuilding from different ruins. After World War II, Germany was in total collapse. Cities were in ruins, millions of the people lost their homes, and the country reputation was shattered. That was Germany in 1945. They didn't just need to rebuild their buildings, but also rebuild their souls. I remember that there was one time I saw photos depicting the situation of after World War II in Germany, and I learned the word of Trümmerfrauen. Literally means the rubbled women. I can imagine how hard and strong of the women back then to rebuild the cities because most of the men were dead or in the prison. So I think this also relates how independence and the equality of the gender in Germany nowadays, because women do contribute a lot in their history and their society, which the people never neglected. Meanwhile, Malaysia was emerging from the shadows of British colonizations. We didn't have bomb craters, but we do have something as heavy as that. The centuries of division. Our economy, educations, neighborhood were structured by race. And there's a mysterious ghetto system existing in the country. If you are interested, comment down below and I'll share in the next video. So, when independence came in 1957, we had freedom but not yet unity. So, in short, Germany rebuilds its infrastructure, and on the other hand, Malaysia needs to rebuild its identity. Both were starting from zero and asking the same question: who are we now? Next will be an important topic, the national policy focus, where two nations healing from different paths. So, after World War II, the West Germany rebuilt under the social market economy, combining free markets reforms with social protections. It reformed its currency, revived the industry, expanded vocational training, and strengthened workers' rights, setting the stage for the Wirtschaftswunder, the economic miracle. Meanwhile, on the other side, the East Germany followed the Soviet-style planned economy. So it's nationalizing the industry, controlling the productions, which ensured the basic stability, but led to a slower long-term growth and limited personal freedoms. So on the other hand, Malaysia took a different route. In 1970s, we introduced the new economic policy, so-called NEP. It is a plan not to rebuild cities, but to rebuild the equality. So the main goal would be reduce poverty and also close the economic gap between different races. So here's the question. Which one do you think is harder? Rebuilding a broken economy or rebuilding a divided society? I'm very curious to know what's your opinion. Next, we are going to the resources and economic approach. Innovation versus abundance. So literally, Germany came out with war with literally nothing. No resources, no colonies, no easy way out. So they turned to their greatest asset, human capital. They invested in education, engineering, and innovation. It is a smart move that when you can't rely on the land, you rely on the mind. That's how Germany's product became the symbols of quality. Cars, machinery, technology that define its reliability. And Malaysia, on the other hand, has abundance of natural resources. We have tin, rubber, palm oil, even petroleum. But there's an irony here. Too many resources can make the nation too comfortable. So that's also why I said in my previous video, Malaysians are more likely to be chilled, laid back, because we are kind of comfortable in the broader picture. I've always thought that people thrive in a tougher situation, that we call it today discomfort zone. It is something about the challenge that trigger the human potential. So there's even a saying that a country hasn't experienced bloodshed or real struggle in its history may not fully value and appreciate the freedom and democracy. So here's the question for you. Do you think struggle makes people stronger? Let me know in the comment below. And now coming to the interesting part, the people and cultural traits. Discipline versus flexibility. You know what? German culture is often described in one word. That is Ordnung. Die Ordnung, der Ordnung, das Ordnung. Yeah, it's die Ordnung. It means ordered, structure, and rules. After chaos burned the country to the ground, structure became their safest comfort in a way. Quiet hours, black and white on papers, and rules for everything. On the other hand, Malaysia works differently. Our trauma came from diversity and colonial segregation. So we learn to adapt, to mix, to laugh, and to compromise. Humor became our peace treaty, and food became our common language. So here comes the question. Would you rather stay in a country that values rules or relationships? And here comes the hot debate that I shared previously in my video. Education and mindset. Questioning versus obeying. So after the war, Germany reformed its education completely. They made critical thinking the center of learning. Students were encouraged to debate, analyze, and challenge the authority, because blind obedience once led to a disaster. But on the other hand, Malaysia's education system was shaped by the colonial legacy. We focus on exams, obedience, and memorizations. So in our education system, success meant having the right answer, not questioning the answer. It made us good in memorization, but not always curious. So since I'm having education in Malaysia, we were educated in a Malay word since we are young of bertoleransi. Literally means be tolerant. So we need to be tolerant and respect different cultures, different races, and different religions. So I think that's also the reason why Malaysia is so successful being the melting point of all different cultures. So what's the core value in your country? Is it more like Germany to educate students to questions and think? Or is it more like exam oriented? Let me know in the comment down below. I think it would be very interesting of the audience from all around the world to share their country's education's core value. Next topic would be the work culture and governance. The structure versus adaptability. So in Germany, everything is planned. Meeting starts on time, project follow rules, and what shocked me the most is most of the Germans plan their summer holiday 1 year in advance. And it is really unusual for Malaysians. We plan it very spontaneously. So Germans take pride in being reliable, because reliability means control and control means safety. But Malaysia works very differently. We are more relationship based. Meeting starts after coffee and snacks. Plans are flexible, and rules are often guidelines. It can be messy, yes. And when we talk about governance, Germany traumas made it allergic to corruption. So, transparency, accountability, and strong institutions are non negotiable. In Malaysia, we are still learning. We have seen political up and downs, but also growing desire of integrity. So, I think in short, Germans rebuild trust in systems, while Malaysians are rebuilding trust in people. Both are necessary, but which one do you think is much more easier to achieve? Let me know in the comment. The last part is also one of the culture shock when I've been in Germany. It is the relationship with history. So I do appreciate how Germany honesty on building its relationship with history by confronting it. Every major cities has the Holocaust memorials and museums to remind their citizens never again. And the younger generation are compulsory to learn it from schools. Understanding the past became the foundation of building a stronger society. Malaysia, on the other hand, is in a much gentler approach. We focus on harmony instead of reopening the old wounds. The 3R topics, race, religion, and royalty, are sensitive social political issues, which we were educated since young not to discuss. We highlight on unity but often avoid deeper discussion about the history regarding colonial impact, race-based policies, and historical racial conflicts. So, which approach do you think is better for the nation? I think history isn't just in books. It is how nations rise after hardship and struggle. And both remind us that strength comes from both challenge and choice. So let me leave a last question to you. If you could rewrite your nation's story, what would you like to change and what would you like to keep? So thanks for watching the video. If you like these cultural, historical videos, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoy the video and give you some new perspective to look back on your country's history. And we see you in the next video. Bye!